Hi, I'm Katie, founder over here in Design, and today we're going to be talking about the real cost of beauty. Now, I'm not just talking about the cost that we pay out every time we purchase a product, though we are going to be talking about that. I'm talking about hidden costs as well. So the ones that hit you hard in the pocketbook, in health, in safety, the ones that impact the people around you, nearby, and also impact others further and further out from your inner circle. So all of those we need to know about, and frankly, we deserve to know about this. So this is one of the most comprehensive presentations I've ever seen on this topic, and that's why this video is a little bit longer. There's a lot of really good golden information here that's going to really impact your life if you take a hold of this knowledge, and you can be a very wise purchaser from here on out. So let's sit down and delve into this really fantastic information that I have for you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the real price of beauty. So our mothers most likely told us at an early age that we were beautiful, and indeed they meant it. Indeed we are. Our culture, on the other hand, has set up people, women especially, to believe that they are not beautiful unless they appear picture perfect. There is no such thing, you know. Unfortunately, many choose not to believe their mothers and are on endless pursuit for beauty. But beauty at what price? Allure magazine tells of a recent survey done by Beauty eTalker Skin Store showed that women in the United States spend about $300,000 just on their face during their lifetime. $300,000. Let that sink in. In addition to this crazy sounding lifetime cost, the survey says women are walking around with about $8 worth of products on their face per day. And what are we buying? The Environmental Working Group Skin Deep database tells us that there are about 10,000 ingredients in products. They also say 70,000 in one place and 30,000 in another. It kind of makes me wonder about the credibility of the EWG, but they are known to be a source many people turn to for info. So let's be modest and keep it to 10,000. That's a big number, and it's a problematic one also, as many of them, around 2,500, can be toxic to the human body. I mean, proven to disrupt hormones, cause skin damage, and yes, even been proven to cause cancer. The frightening truth is that the use of toxic chemicals in cosmetics negatively impacts a person's health, and yet cosmetic companies continue to put customers' health at risk by using toxic chemicals and by intentionally failing to properly regulate the safety of their own products. Now, I want to give credit where credit is due. This presentation was put together by Susan Bartz-Herrick, and she's a professor in the Department of Communications at UNC FSU. She's an advocate of health and wellness, and her family has been involved in Living Green for about 50 years now. So protecting the planet and helping people live healthy lives is very important to this lady, and that is why she's put together presentations such as this. She also put in a note about how she is looking to age in the best natural way possible without breaking the bank and poisoning her body. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 main points about the beauty industry: the history of beauty practices, the regulation of the beauty industry, harm done to humans and animals in the name of beauty, companies that are the worst offenders in that topic, how hidden toxins affect the human body, and lastly, options and solutions. So this isn't all bad news, everyone. Let's start by delving into the fascinating history of beauty just a bit to get a good background from where we're coming from and where we're going. Tombs from about 3100 BC revealed that beauty practices originated probably first in the Egyptian dynasty, about 5,000 years ago, and some sources date it back even further. The origins of natural beauty, of course, one would think, but not quite. They used lead ore and cat dung as facial masks. Women throughout history put their health at risk with many of their homemade cosmetics. Over the centuries, women used burnt matches to darken their eyes, berries to stain their lips, and young boys' urine to fade their freckles. They even swallowed ox blood in some misguided attempt to improve their complexion. In some cultures, women used arsenic, lead, mercury, and even leeches to give themselves the pale appearance deemed beautiful in the old days. Good thing those days are over, right? We wish. Women today are still willing to pay exorbitant prices in search of external beauty. Most expensive products on the internet are Bloomingdale's, Neiman, and Marcus, and they're not clinically proven effective products. They don't come with a money-back guarantee. Negative reviews from customers saying they're not really effective. Some people who tried them experienced skin irritation. Some individuals may be hypersensitive to any of the ingredients in the formulation. And we talked about it's expensive. But the biggest question is it safe? So getting back to those 10,000 ingredients that are used in personal care products today, of course they are regulated to be safe, right? Oh, wrong. The current FDA website tells us that the law does not require cosmetic products and ingredients other than color additives to have FDA approval before they go on the market. So who then is responsible for substantiating the safety of cosmetics? Companies and individuals who manufacture or market cosmetics have a legal responsibility to ensure the safety of their products. Neither the law nor the FDA regulations require specific tests to demonstrate the safety of individual products or ingredients. The law also does not require cosmetic companies to share their safety information with the FDA. So do cosmetic firms need to register with the FDA or get an FDA license to operate? No. An honor system in an age of questionable honor, and sometimes they get caught in their lies. Let's take L'Oreal for instance. The company made broad claims that its Genofinique products were clinically proven to boost genes' activity and stimulate the production of youth proteins that would cause visibly younger skin in just 7 days, and would provide results to a specific percentage of users. Charging as much as $175 per container that claimed to crack the code of younger acting skin, the new era of skincare, gene science. The Federal Trade Commission didn't think that was possible and looked into the product. Here's a direct quote from Jessica Rich, director of the FTC's Bureau of Consumer Protection. "It would be nice if cosmetics could alter our genes and turn back time. Science tells us they can't." L'Oreal was sued and agreed to settle the Federal Trade Commission charges of deceptive advertising. People buy products they trust, companies whose name represent what they stand for. So what's in a name? A boatload of problems if you're the honest company. This may shock you, but here are some points from CNN reporter Jessica Horowitz in June 2017. In September 2015, the company was sued by a customer who said the sunscreen doesn't work and isn't really natural. And in April 2016, the Organic Consumers Association filed a suit that alleged Honest Baby formula contains ingredients that aren't really organic. Jessica Alba's Honest brand made its name by selling non-toxic, eco-friendly products to parents. In June of 2017, the company agreed to pay $1.55 million to settle a nationwide class action lawsuit claiming it misled buyers about ingredients in its laundry detergent and dish soap. Later that June, CNN reporter Victoria Knight reported on widespread consumer discontent. She writes, "Complaints of adverse health events related to cosmetic and personal care products more than doubled from 2015 to 2016, according to a study published Monday in the journal JAMA International Medicine." Northwestern University researchers also looked at complaints collected by the Food and Drug Administration from 2004 to 2016. The study found that there were 706 related adverse events reported in 2015 and 1,591 in 2016. Compared with the average number of reports across the 12-year study period, that's a 78% increase in 2015 and a 300% increase in 2016. You'd think the Honest Company would have learned from Neutrogena, another trusted name for natural beauty products. In 2013, Neutrogena paid $1.3 million to settle consumer fraud claims. Taken from Legal Report, a federal court in California has approved a settlement between Neutrogena Corporation and a punitive nationwide class of consumers who allegedly purchased the company's Naturals product line of personal care products, relying on purportedly false marketing claims that the products contained no harsh chemical sulfates, parabens, petrochemicals, dyes, or phthalates. Neutrogena recently settled another consumer fraud suit alleging that its anti-wrinkle cream did not work as advertised. Lastly, Legal Report from the FDA log blog, 34 cosmetic companies sued over organic labels. Why? According to a complaint filed in the Superior Court of the State of California by the Center of Environmental Health, at least 34 cosmetic companies sell cosmetic products in California that are labeled as organic and yet do not contain 70% or more organic ingredients. Allegedly, based on the ingredient statement, some of the defendants' products do not contain any organic ingredients at all. Now, I grant you, there are companies that do test their products before putting them on the market to avoid these kinds of lawsuits and bad publicity. Unfortunately, a lot of these companies test on animals. Is that still legal? Yes. Hidden, but illegal and highly unethical. Here in the USA, Animal Legal Welfare Fund states there is an estimated 100 million animals that are still exploited in biomedical, aeronautical, automotive, military, agriculture, and cognitive research. And in consumer product testing, 95% of these animals are not protected by the law. These labs are hidden away from sight. Many don't use dogs and cats anymore, although beagles are still being bred specifically for experiments. A lot of them use rodents and reptiles. It is a controversial topic, to be sure. So let's take a look at the meaning behind animal testing and where it is taking place. We'll start here at home. The U.S. Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, regulated by the FDA, prohibits the sale of mislabeled, adulterated cosmetics, but does not require that animal tests be conducted to demonstrate the cosmetics are safe. Therefore, animal testing is not legally required for cosmetics sold in the United States. However, it's not banned either. The following countries either have bans in place or have legislative action purposed in India, New Zealand, Taiwan, Canada, Turkey, Israel, European Union, Norway, Sao Paulo, Brazil, Switzerland, Guatemala, and the US. Indeed, there are over 500 companies listed safe on the PETA webpage as of 2016. Unfortunately, some companies must allow the countries they do business in to take their products and then test them according to the laws of the land, such as in China. PETA keeps track. Here are some of the top cosmetic brands whose products are still tested on animals, with a caveat on their website saying that they are required to do so by law. I would like to think that they would stop this practice if they could. Avon, Benefit, Clinique, CoverGirl, Estee Lauder, L'Oreal, Makeup Forever, Maybelline, Opie, Fico, Elizabeth Arden, Victoria's Secret, and the list goes on and on. Animals can't take companies to court, but people who love them can. In 2012, LLP announced the filing of a class action lawsuit of a $100 million fraud lawsuit against cosmetic companies Estee Lauder, Avon, and Mary Kay on behalf of American consumers. It claimed consumers were deceived by the company's false and misleading representations related to animal testing of their products. The case was dismissed by a judge who claimed the plaintiffs hadn't shown they'd actually been hurt by the alleged lies. To my knowledge, animals still can't file lawsuits, so I fail to see the logic here. We are making progress, my friends. Hopefully, the rest of the world will catch up soon. Moving on, if animal abuse wasn't enough, sometimes companies risk human lives by keeping dangerous substances in their products. Meet Louise Schlupp, age 62. She used a product she trusted for years, baby powder, from a company she had trusted, Johnson & Johnson. Baby powder? What could possibly go wrong with baby powder? It's just talc, right? The talc they used was proven to be a carcinogen, cancer-causing agent. According to the lawsuit, Johnson & Johnson knew it. The Los Angeles Times reported in May 2017 on their story. They wrote, "Talc can be contaminated with asbestos fibers, posing risks for respiratory toxicity and cancer. And studies by the National Toxicology Panel demonstrated that cosmetic-grade talc, free of asbestos, can still be toxic and carcinogenic." Lewis was rewarded a record-breaking US $110.5 million for allegedly having developed ovarian cancer from prolonged use of Johnson & Johnson's baby powder. Unfortunately, she probably won't be able to enjoy the money, as ovarian cancer is one of the most lethal cancers out there today. $110.5 million is a record-breaking amount of money that will doubtless force cosmetic companies to start examining their ingredient list very carefully. The Court case is not the only one that cosmetics giant Johnson & Johnson faces. Within the last several years, the company has been forced to pay out a total of $197 million for similar claims. And the Toronto Star reports that there are 2,000 state and federal lawsuits in courts across the United States addressing concerns about health problems caused by talc. Evidence against baby powder is mounting. The New York Times cited a study last year that among African American women, genital use of the powder is linked with a 44% increased risk for invasive epithelial ovarian cancer. African Americans were specifically targeted, the marketing lawyers claimed. The juries agreed, and in February 2016, the family of a black woman named Jacqueline Fox, who died of ovarian cancer after a lifelong use of talcum powder made by Johnson & Johnson for dental hygiene, was awarded $72 million by a jury that ruled Johnson & Johnson had intentionally hidden the known association between their products and cancer from African American consumers. Who would have guessed that baby powder could be so lethal? But talc is just the tip of the iceberg. Now, I know what many people may be thinking. Well, I don't use that many personal care products. Research tells us that people use a lot more than they think. Let's turn to the experts of Harvard from WebPage's Harvard School of Public Health. Amy Ruder, contributor. In the United States, the average person is exposed to more than 100 chemicals from cosmetics, soaps, and other personal care products before leaving the house in the morning. While people may assume these products are safe, their chemical ingredients are mostly untested and largely unregulated, with even known carcinogenic and endocrine disrupting chemicals still found in some of the formulations. What's more, ingredient labels can be misleading, leaving even the savviest of consumers in the dark about the safety of the products they use every day. The lipstick we wear, the food we eat, the soap we use to clean our children's hands often contains harmful chemicals, said Mia Davis, head of health and safety for personal care product company Beauty Counter. The load adds up quickly every day. So what are they? Author and lifestyle coach Vanessa Cunningham wrote in an article published in the Huffington Post called 10 Toxic Beauty Ingredients to Avoid. I've added a few more from other sites, but the first 10 are generally accepted as being the most dangerous. Many of these synthetic chemicals are skin irritants, skin penetrators, endocrine disruptors, and they are carcinogenic. I can't go through all these harmful chemicals, but some you should highly avoid. Parabens are widely used preservatives that prevent the growth of bacteria, mold, and yeast in cosmetic products. Sounds good, right? Not so fast. They do more than that. Parabens possess estrogen-mimicking properties that are associated with increased risk of breast cancer. A recent test done by a researcher from California Pacific Medical Center, San Francisco, have discovered that two chemicals commonly used in consumer products, parabens such as bisphenol A and methylparaben, can interfere with the effectiveness of the very chemotherapy drugs used to fight breast cancer. Specifically, tamoxifen, a drug designed to prevent and treat cancer, slows down the growth of both healthy and cancerous breast cells and ultimately leads to their death. But when tamoxifen was introduced in the lab, the cells exposed to the two chemicals kept growing and didn't die. Parabens are absorbed through the skin and have been identified in biopsy samples from breast tumors. The breast cancer organizations are taking this burgeoning information on chemicals in cancer very seriously. They have teamed up with the Campaign for Safe Cosmetics with a call to action to stop buying products with these dangerous ingredients. They can be found in makeup, body washes, deodorants, shampoos, facial cleaners, and many skincare products. You can also find them in food and pharmaceutical products. Please read your labels. Synthetic colors. If you take a look at your product label and notice FD&C or D&C, they represent artificial colors. Many synthetic colors are derived from petroleum or coal tar sources. Synthetic colors are suspected to be human carcinogen, a skin irritant, and linked to ADHD in children. The European Classification and Labeling considers it a human carcinogen, and the European Union has put many in question. Fragrance. This particular category is pretty scary because what does fragrance mean anyway? This term was created to protect a company's secret formula. But as the consumer, you could be putting in a concoction that contains a ton of chemicals that are hazardous to your health. According to the EWG Skin Deep database, fragrance mixes have been associated with allergies, dermatitis, respiratory distress, and potential effects on the reproductive system. WebMD agrees. It can be found in many products such as perfume, cologne, conditioner, shampoo, body wash, moisturizers, on and on. Phthalates, a group of chemicals used in hundreds of products to increase the flexibility and softness of plastics. They are known to be endocrine disruptors and have been linked to increased risk of breast cancer, early breast development in girls, and reproductive birth defects in males and females. Moms of young children here may want to take note. Phthalates are a great example because they have this property where they can interfere with the production of testosterone, says Dr. Tracy Woodruff, director of the program on reproductive health and the environment and a professor of obstetrics, gynecology, reproductive sciences at the University of California, San Francisco. Exposure to phthalates can lead to reduced testosterone levels. That's shown in animal studies. Reduced testosterone levels, Woodruff explains, can lead to a host of health problems. Lots of these hormones are important because they orchestrate different parts of the development. During the prenatal period, for example, you get this surge in testosterone because that's what makes the male reproductive development form. So if you don't have enough testosterone, you basically don't get a complete formulation of the male reproductive tract. Phthalates are also now being linked to type 2 diabetes increases. Tricloscan. Tricloscan is a widely used antimicrobial chemical that's known as an endocrine disruptor, especially thyroid and reproductive hormones, and a skin irritant, finally banned in 2016. Hydroquinone is used in most pharmaceutical and upscale anti-aging creams. While it may intentionally lighten pigment, use over a period of time, it darkens and disfigures skin, causing a condition called exogenous ochronosis. In some cases, hydroquinone may also lead to vitiligo, which means you completely lose pigments in areas of your skin. By reducing or eliminating pigment in the skin, it increases your sensitivity to sun and to various forms of skin cancer. There is still concern that it will also cause cancer and is banned in several countries around the world. TCA is used in chemical peels. More than 1 million have received chemical peels. Some women get them on a regular basis. The New York Times reported that a growing number of studies suggested that it has other effects as well. Recently, the International Agency of Cancer Research moved to classify it as a suspected human carcinogen. The EPA had one study listing it as a complete carcinogen. Sodium lauryl sulfate, listed in labels as SLS, this surfactant can be found in more than 90% of personal care and cleaning products, so think of foaming products. It's known to be a skin, lung, and eye irritant. The major concern about SLS is its potential to interact and combine with other chemicals to form even more carcinogens. These combinations can lead to a host of other issues like kidney and reproductive damage. They can be found in shampoo, body wash cleansers, mascara, acne treatments, and more. Formaldehyde and formaldehyde-releasing preservatives, FRPs, are used in many cosmetic products to help prevent bacterial growth. This chemical was deemed as a human carcinogen by the International Agency for Research in Carcinogens and has been linked to occupational-related cancers. It is also known to cause allergic skin reactions and may also be harmful to the immune system. It can be found in nail polish, body washes, conditioners, shampoos, cleansers, eyeshadows, nail polish treatments. Johnson & Johnson was selling formaldehyde-free versions of their baby products in Europe and other countries, but not in the US until a lawsuit was threatened. Toluene, a petrochemical derived from petroleum or coal tar sources. You may see it on labels listed as benzene, toluenol, phenolphthalein, methylbenzene. It is a potent solvent able to dissolve paint and paint thinner. It can affect your respiratory system, cause nausea, and irritate your skin. Expecting mothers should avoid exposure to toluene vapors as it may cause developmental damage in the fetus. It has also been linked to immune system toxicity. It can be found in nail polish, nail treatments, and hair color bleaching products. A 2015 New York Times article written by Sarah Manslin titled "Perfect Nails, Poisoned Workers" reported on a growing body of medical research that shows a link between the chemicals that make nail and beauty products useful also carry serious health problems. Some of the chemicals in nail products are known to cause cancer. Others have been linked to abnormal fetal development, miscarriages, and other harm to reproductive health. A number of studies have also been found that cosmetologists, a group that includes manicurists as well as hairdressers and makeup artists, have elevated rates of death from Hodgkin's disease, of low birth weight babies, and of multiple myeloma, a form of cancer. Propylene glycol. Propylene glycol is a small organic alcohol commonly used as a skin conditioning agent. It's classified as a skin irritant and penetrator. It has been associated with causing dermatitis as well as hives in humans. These sensitization effects can be manifested as propylene glycol concentrates as low as 2%. It can be found in moisturizers, sunscreen, makeup products, conditioners, shampoos, and hairsprays. Here is a list for you to take a screenshot. Take it with you on your phone when you shop. Now we know the disturbing news that products made in this country are very under-regulated. We also know the FDA is in charge of overseeing cosmetics, but only 10% of the more than 10,000 cosmetic ingredients currently being used in the beauty products have been tested for safety. But did you know that over the past 15 years, more than 10,000 Americans have had their blood tested by the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, in an attempt to determine their chemical body burden? The result of the CDC study were stunning. Even those who lived in remote areas were found to have hundreds of synthetic chemicals in their bloodstream. More disturbingly, these chemical exposures begin even before we take our first breath. An astounding 287 chemical toxins have been detected within the umbilical cords of newborns. Some good news, however. UC Berkeley's study, conducted in conjunction with Clínica de Salud del Valle de Salinas and released in March, found that when teens stopped using these products that contain 4 chemicals, phthalates, parabens, triclosan, and oxybenzoin, the presence of those substances in their bodies decreased significantly. So how do these harmful synthetic chemicals get into and into our children's bloodstream, and where do they come from? The skin was once thought of as an impermeable barrier. We know today it is the largest organ in our body. Absorption of chemicals into the skin also depends on other factors like skin integrity, damaged versus intact, skin temperature, concentration of a chemical on the skin surface, length of time exposed, and perhaps most importantly, the area of your body exposed. Skin absorption rates vary greatly among different parts of the body. For example, the chemical absorption rate on your forehead and scalp is about 4 times greater than the absorption rate into your forearms. So the answer to a question of how much does the skin absorb cannot possibly be quantified in a single universal percentage. It depends on a significant number of complex, situationally cognitive variables. But one thing we do know, it does absorb them, and many of them are toxic to the human body. It's hard, my friends. We want to look beautiful. We want to be able to use the latest innovations because that's what we see on the magazines and on TV. We want to look just like our icons, the movie stars. They are perfection. We put pressure on ourselves to be perfectly beautiful and sacrifice not only our health, but also our self-esteem. The truth is that this perfect beauty, it's all a lie. Meet Photoshop. They look just like us. Marketers have convinced us that we are all less than unless we cave in and buy their hype. In actuality, they create this hype, and they are good at it. Think they all have perfect bodies? 10 pounds gone in a swipe of an airbrush. You think those Hollywood stars are aging well? Well, think again. And that they all have perfect skin? No. Lancome ads for foundation makeup featuring Julia Roberts and Christy Turlington came to the attention of Advertising Standards Authority, which banned them for being misleading. They are prime examples of how the advertising media have distorted our perception of beauty. Enough! A Harvard poll survey found that 59% of women over the age of 35 believe buying green beauty is important to them, while an even larger percentage, 73 to be exact, of millennial women seek out cleaner, all-natural products. Women have had it. We are saying no to chemicals and dyes and toxins and lies. You know, we want products that are safe for us and for our children. And until recently, we had a choice, we could put our health at risk for anti-aging results, Or we could go use environmentally safe, non-toxic products that did not deliver clinical results. Those days have come to an end. My family and I have used products from the #1 natural company in the US for years. The company is Chaudhri, started in 1956 by a scientist who is known to be one of the first environmentalists. Chaudhri's reputation is stellar, legally, morally, and ethically. 100% non-GMO, cruelty-free, free of toxic chemicals. Chaudhri has over 100 clinical third-party studies to prove the efficacy of their products. All products are proven to be safe, effective, and pure. Chaudhri is a company with a conscience. So when they announced a brand new skincare line that had clinical results to turn back the clock on aging, you know I was excited. So I'm pleased to tell you about Youth. Youth is a line of beauty products that can give you true, clinically proven anti-aging results without toxic chemicals. It's true. They even list 2,500 toxic products that they refuse to use in their products, as well as a complete list of everything they do use. And look at those clinical results. 100% of women were clinically proved to have a younger looking skin. 2/3 of them actually shifted their skin age into a younger decade. I certainly enjoy having people guess that my age is 10 years younger than I really am. As I close this presentation, I invite you to take a serious look to what is in your personal care products in your own bathroom and ask yourself if all these toxins are really worth the price of beauty. We've gone over some pretty eye-opening information here. I've just shared with you the history of beauty practices, the regulation of the beauty industry, harm done to human and animals in the name of beauty, companies that are the worst offenders, how hidden toxins affect the human body, and lastly, I pointed out the options that we now have to get clinically proven anti-aging results without harming ourselves, our children, or helpless animals. Ask yourself, do the companies that make these toxic products have your best interest in mind? Do they intentionally use toxic chemicals that negatively impact your health? And do they intentionally fail to properly regulate the safety of their own products? If your answer is yes, I want to invite you to talk to me today and join the thousands that are changing the world on beauty, one face at a time. My mother told me that I was beautiful, but she always reminded me that true beauty comes from within, and it does. But I am also greatly relieved to know that I can feel attractive and beautiful and safe, aging a little slower because of one company's dedication to goodness. We all can. This is what beautiful women look like. Real women, beautiful inside and out. Come join us. So the first thing I did when I found out all about this several years ago was to purge my home of harmful products. And the great thing is I now have a whole clean line that I can replace them with that I know is going to work fantastically, better than anything else out there. And I did a second purge of more of personal care items right around the time I was thinking, we're getting ready to start a family here and I don't want to be pregnant with any toxic chemicals going into me. I wish I had done it sooner, but there's nothing like thinking about precious little sensitive babies to get you on the right track. My family's health is priceless to me. So that is why no toxic chemicals of any kind are allowed in our house, especially any that are going to be touching our bodies, going into our mouths, we're going to be breathing. All of that is super important. So I hope that this was as informative to you as it was to me. I love having everything consolidated right here so you can get all the information all at once. And I hope this inspires you to do a major spring cleaning in your home as well. And if you have any questions, I am here. Please ask me. I am more than happy to share what I do, how it's working for me, and how it can definitely be a help and a blessing to you as well. Thank you again for watching and have a wonderful week.